Hi, everybody. Welcome to Chat and Craft with Lorraine. My name's Lorraine Tierney, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. I live in the little town of Warner, New Hampshire, and I love to make cards, I love to send cards, I love to share cards, and I really like to help other people make cards. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you live in the United States, I'd love to be yours and help your crafting experience be so much fun. Today, I'm going to show you a card made with a new stamp set, and it's one of the cards we did yesterday in our in-person mini on stage that I held with teammate Michelle Solis of This Must Be Ink. And we had some customers and friends and team members there, and we had a great time. So I'm going to show you one of the cards that we made. Let me switch my camera over. I really love it if you comment or say hi if you're watching this. That would make my day. So this is the Sunshine Vibes stamp set, and this is one of those ones that when I saw it in the catalog, I just had to have it. It has great dies with it. I haven't used the dies on this card, just the stamps. But it has different ways you can make rainbows that are really cool. It's a suite, so it also comes with some paper. I love this paper. It's so bright and colorful and fun. And it has some dots, muted palette dots that I have to order another pack of because these are just not going to last. I like them so much. So before we get started, I want to talk to you about the cloud cover ink a little bit. You probably know that the full-size ink pad is not available. The ink was reacting with the foam pad and the color wasn't staying consistent. So Stampin' Up! Is big on quality, and they didn't want to take that chance of having you get an ink pad with inconsistent color or color that changes. So what they're recommending is you buy the refill, and then you can buy uninked spots. These are the spots. And you get 5 of them, and you ink the spot up yourself with your re-inker. So I thought I would just do that here right now because we're going to need this color ink. So you can see I'm just dropping lots of drops on there. And I know I'm going to use this spot a lot because I don't have a big ink pad. So I'm going to get it pretty saturated. Okay, I want it to have color all the way down. Now I might have gone just a little bit overboard. Yes, I think I did just a little bit too much. So I'm gonna blot that off. I happen to have a microfiber cloth, and I just took a little bit off the top because it was starting to come out the sides. Okay, so that's my ink pad. So don't go quite as heavy-handed as I did. So let's get started on the card. I'm just checking to make sure I don't have ink on my hands. So I have a cloud cover card base that I really like. I'm enjoying this color. It's kind of a bluish gray, but I think definitely in the blue family. And let's see, I have a piece for the inside. This is my little piece of DSP, and I'm going to put it that way. I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. Okay, and set that aside. And I'm going to set this aside a little bit. I have a tiny little piece that I'm going to put a sentiment on, and this is the piece I'm going to do my stamping on. So I'm going to get out the half circle and I call this a moon or a sliver of the sun. And I want this bigger one. And we're going to use that tiny little one on the inside. And let me get the sentiment out too while I'm at it. So I think yesterday we used the sentiment thanks, but I think I'm going to use hello today because I have a couple with the thanks on it already. So I'll use hello. So the first thing I'm going to do is stamp this moon. And because I just re-inked this, I am going to stamp off a couple of times on a piece of paper. Okay, and that looks like that will be okay. Okay, so I'm going to start with this, and I'm kind of thinking of this as like a rising sun. So there's my moon, and that's the cloud cover ink. Now I'm going to use some Cajun Craze for a little bigger piece of the sun. Okay, I have a smudge on my block, and I was wondering if it was on my stamp. It is not on my stamp. So now I'm going to do my half circle. Let's clean that up. And now I want to do a sun. I'm going to use Darling Duck, and I'm going to use that half circle twice. Okay, so we're going to make a full circle out of the half circle. So there's half. And then I'm going to try to get it lined up. There's the other half of my circle. And we have one more thing to stamp on there. We're going to stamp this beautiful green leaf for just greenery, and it's going to kind of go right over all three of those, like that. Oh, I did not get my whole leaf, so I'm going to try to line it back up. There we go. I rushed that a little bit. And then I can show you a little trick with the blender pen. We were wishing we had brought a blender pen yesterday. I have a little bit here. There you go. That didn't quite fill in. So I'm just coloring it in a little with my blender pen. And then you just, where'd my scrap paper go? You just scribble this off on your scrap paper till it gets clean. And those are blender pens. They're handy, handy, handy to have around. So this is just going to go right on here. Like that. And try get it centered top and bottom, and then just a nice border over here. It's not necessarily equal, but it's good. Okay, and now I'm going to do my hello, and I'm going to do that in Secret C. I really like that color. Right on this little piece. There we go. I could trim that down a little bit more, but I think I'm going to leave it. And we'll put a couple of dimensionals on that. Oops. It flew away. I'm going to put that right across like that. And then we need a couple of these beautiful yellow dots. I could use the green as well, but I think I'm going to stick with the yellow. I'm going to put a little one up a little high. And that's the front of the card. Now I do want to do a little something on the inside. So on this piece of paper, I'm going to use this little line stamp. And I'm going to do it horizontally and then vertically without re-inking it. Then horizontally and then vertically. The vertical is light. I'll hold it up in a minute. You can see it. And I'm just going to keep going down the card, trying not to confuse myself by talking while I am doing this. I just got my hands all over the ink, so I didn't think I had enough ink. I inked it up and stamped it off. So that fits perfectly going down the side, and you can see you have a dark one and then a lighter one. And I'm going to put this on. Just like this. And that's going to be our card. That's one of the cards we made yesterday. And it's a lot of fun with that Sunshine Vibes stamp set. So I hope you liked that. I hope you'll order yourself a cloud cover re-inker and some of these uninked spots. They're handy to have anyway. They're great for travel. You might want to wrap a little elastic band around this to keep the cover on tight, or you can buy little plastic cases that they fit in. If I can find the link for those, I sometimes have trouble finding the link. I will put it in the description. So let me switch this over. Thanks so much for watching. And like I said, if I can help you make cards at home, I would love to do that. If you need a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator or a catalog, I would love to be yours. So just reach out and send me a message or leave a comment and let me know. Have a great rest of your Sunday night, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.